All right, good afternoon, everyone. This is the David T. Howard Go Team work session. It is November the 9th. We are meeting now starting at 4:46. The purpose of today's work session is for us to address the language within the strategic plan as far as the vision, mission, and goal. So today will probably be a short session to work on those things and go ahead and get the discussion started.
A question,
Anybody needs to share the screen?
do I need to take roll?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay, just checking.
Unless it was listed on that summary sheet. It's not listed on the summary sheet. No.
All right. Ready? So good afternoon, everyone. The last time we left off, we were trying to craft the vision and the mission, and I know we left off with some suggestions for the vision. And so what I did, and we've been working on this, as an admin team as well. And so if you don't mind, I can share the proposed copy of strategic planning in the chat. That way you can have a copy of it as we are going over. And also, will I be able to share my screen, Coach Abernathy?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
You should have rights.
okay. So proposed copy, and I'm just going to drop this into the chat. Okay. And it's still that document that we used the last time with those resources on it. Okay. That I'm pulling from, but it's a proposed copy. So let me pull it up as well and share my screen. Let's see. All right, share. Okay, and you all let me know if you can see this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, so I am going to go to that slide where we were trying to craft our vision. And let me just go back one so that we can just review the mission and what we come up with the last time we met. And so we had, through an inclusive culture of equity, collaboration, and excellence, all students will be empowered to be innovators and responsive citizens. And that's where we changed the word leaders to citizens. And so we were all in agreement with that. Okay. And then we went on to discuss the vision. And what I'll do, I will present this, maybe it'll be larger. But we came up with several different ones to propose. And someone said maybe to mirror the district's vision and keep it simple, add in the word engaging. And I tried to make a proposal as well in terms of to mirror the district's vision, but we may have to, look at that and see if it's one that we are all okay with. But, and if you look at the third, look at the third entry there. It says an inclusive, high-performing school where students love to learn, educators inspire, and families engage. That was just a suggestion as well, if we were to mirror the district vision and keep it simple. We also had David at the top, the first entry, David T. Howard Middle School is an inclusive community that provides all students with critical thinking skills and dedication to our core values so they will be successful in a rapidly changing world. And then we had the second entry was David T. Howard Middle School is a high-performing school in an inclusive community that ensures all students reach their individual academic potential and develop critical thinking skills so they can navigate a rapidly changing world. And that last entry there is was the district's vision that we pulled in. And so where should we jump in? Do we want to go back to what we had in July and August, or maybe try to craft the one that mirrors the district vision?
For me, I think all schools are expected to meet the district vision. So your school vision should be more specialized and more particular and specific. So I really like the August 2021 that I think we talked about before. And I think one of the comments at our last meeting was putting the concept or the word engaging in there. And I know it's kind of wordy so far. I'll tell you, in my mind, is a high performing school, is it necessary? I mean, all schools probably think they're a high performing school. I don't know if that adds much. So we're trying to, if we're trying to make it a little less wordy, I'd be fine with getting rid of is a high performing school. I don't know if that adds any value. So those are kind of some of my thoughts.
Okay. And so let's say David T. Howard Middle School, and we took out, let me go back. Let me get out of present mode. There we go. Okay. And I'll make it a little larger here. I don't know. So if we take out is a high performing school, we'll have to fix that
And
there.
it has David T. Howard is an inclusive community.
So David T. Howard Middle School is an inclusive community that ensures all students reach their individual academic potential and develop critical thinking skills so they can navigate a rapidly changing world. And I think we mentioned the word engaging. This community that ensures all students reach their individual academic potential and develop critical skills so they can navigate. Any
So
other
just
thoughts?
taking it and engaging an inclusive community.
Yep, that's what I was just going to say, Ms. Poe.
Just leave it. Yep.
That look good?
Yep.
Okay. So
That
David T. Howard Middle School is an engaging and inclusive community that ensures all students reach their individual academic potential and develop critical thinking skills so they can navigate a rapidly changing world. Hey, sounds great to me.
I like it.
All right, good teamwork. All right. So I am going to take this and just copy. And then remember the document that we're working from. Let's see, this is really little. So
You know what page that vision was? I'm just adding the little notes on the minutes.
page is actually 6.
Thank you.
Slide 6, yes. And so let's just copy and paste here. Let's see, is it paste without formatting? Okay. All right, great. Okay, and then also remember we came up with the SMART goals. Close the achievement gap between all subgroups and increase the percentage of proficient and distinguished learners in ELA and math. Increase access to more rigorous coursework for historically disadvantaged student populations and gifted student populations. Reduce the number of out-of-school suspensions and foster student participation in shaping the culture and climate of the learning community. So those were 4 really good SMART goals that we came up with in our last session. And then what you see here are, these are in stone for all of our schools, the APS strategic priorities and initiatives, fostering academic excellence for all, data, curriculum, instruction, and signature program. And so number 1, as we looked at it, you know, with the admin team, these are some of the things we came up with. So we can go through and, you know, see if we are all in agreement with these, if anything needs to be modified, whatever we need to do. But under the school strategic priorities, number 1, we had to ensure students receive interventions and support to demonstrate mastery on essential standards, utilize data to drive instructional practices to address struggling learners and gifted/advanced students. And when we look at number 1 and 2 under strategies, number 1 has implement weekly collaborative team meetings to set proficiency levels for student learning and to collectively study the standards and learning targets.
Could you zoom in a little bit?
Let's see.
Or
Yes, it gives me 100 and then it jumps to 200. So let me know if that's too much.
No, that's fine. I can read that.
Okay, great. All right. And then 2A, use student achievement data, like your common formative assessments, formative and summative data frequently in all content areas to reteach and extend to ensure learning has occurred for the essential standards. 2B.
Well, I guess I have a thought. I mean, does 2A, isn't that what schools do? Like, don't you have to do all of that anyway? Is that any,
No.
is that like above and beyond what?
Yeah.
you're
So,
supposed to do?
all right. Good question. Not all schools do common formative assessments.
Okay.
I think we actually just started, Ms. Baker, a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were one of the first in the district to start. Now the district is trying to follow, but not everybody does that.
Okay. Okay, then that's good.
Okay. 2B, implement consistent research-based interventions and enrichment opportunities for learners during proficiency and beyond, / the advisory period, SRP and B. And 2C was increase rigor, utilize differentiation and small group instruction to target struggling students and to challenge gifted learners through implementation of our APS definition of teacher excellence and school frameworks in all core content areas. And I'll pause. Okay, and 2D was increase the number of advanced course offerings and increase access to disadvantaged populations.
So for 2D, I guess I'd want to see, in number 2, we have gifted / advanced students.
Okay.
I mean, I'll tell you where I'd like us to end up. I would like 6th graders and 7th graders to have 3 of their 4 classes be gifted instead of, or, the kids in the gifted program. I would like to increase the number of gifted classes that they have. I know Sutton provides gifted classes in all 4 cores.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really surprised when I got to Inman. I was under the impression that 2 was all we could get, and then I was shocked when I found out that Sutton had 4. So I would like to see Howard move in the direction of 3 gifted classes. As I said, 3 of the 4 core classes be gifted, or gifted kids have that option or opportunity. So I don't know how maybe for 2D, we could just add here, increase access to disadvantaged populations and gifted / advanced students.
Let's see, say that one more time, Ms. Keenan.
Okay, so I'm sorry, so I think just at the end of this sentence,
Okay.
because right now we have increased access to disadvantaged populations.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could just say and gifted / advanced students. But I defer to the APS people on the Go team. Is this language sufficient to move in that direction? Is there more that we need to do before we would make a decision that 6th graders and 7th graders would be eligible for 3 gifted classes?
Yeah, well, it would definitely start with making sure that we are hiring gifted certified staff, or we have more staff going through gifted certification.
Yep.
And so, and there is something mentioned towards the bottom here about that as well.
Looking at it, it seems to me that you would add the part that we just added for gifted advanced students, increase the number of advanced course offerings for gifted and advanced students, and then have a comma, and then increase access to disadvantaged populations.
So increase the number of advanced course offerings for
gifted and advanced students, and then increase access to those classes for disadvantaged populations.
When you say increase access to those classes for disadvantaged students, what does that mean?
Yes, ma'am. So currently, when you look, well, historically at Inman/Howard,
Mhm.
what that looks like in many of our gifted class courses and advanced courses is that you see majority of white population and
Mhm.
not very many minority students. And so
Mhm.
just trying to make sure that we are looking at ways to increase access to historically disadvantaged students, populations. And of course, that comes from, it really starts at the elementary level, to be quite honest with you. And we've been in talks with that, about that with the district level as well. Just, being able to expose students, more students to rigorous content,
Mhm.
even before they get to middle school. And so that's something that we are definitely looking at.
Because our minority populations are quite often the ones that are overlooked for gifted testing and things like that, because the same behaviors that are that their white counterparts express that get them tested for gifted, usually people think it's just bad behavior, quotation marks, for our African American and other minority students. So that's where that wording was coming, just that we were making sure that we were testing all of our students and giving everybody equal access.
Okay.
Well, and in my mind too, that language also gives flexibility to maybe not just use testing. That gifted testing is pretty onerous and they test all these different things and they test creativity, which is still crazy to me. I don't really understand how you test that. But I mean, I can envision a kid that doesn't test well, isn't tested for gifted, but loves math and is an engineering nerd. And if that that student were given the opportunity, they could really excel in math. So to me, that's what it is. It's making sure that teachers are looking for that kid who can just thrive. I mean, be empowered. Look, you're one of the smart kids. You're in this class. You can do it. It just, yeah, and not being limited to that gifted test.
And then also, is this recommending the kids for the level up program in the summer, that sort of thing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we good?
Sorry, you're just missing a word. So it's advanced course offerings for, yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So are we good with 2D? All
Yes,
right.
we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, wait, let me see. Develop a safe, positive, informed, and engaged school culture. We did talk about where you see 3A, work with ambassadors to create a positive, student-centered environment where students have voice. Okay. So we added that in there. Excuse me. Continue staff professional learning on equity and gender talks to ensure an inclusive climate for all. Because we have a lot of students who are, talking to staff, asking questions, and sometimes staff may not feel as comfortable answering questions or may not know what to even say with some of the things our students bring to them. And so we do have a diversity committee and we talk about those things. And even, when it comes to gender identity, when it comes to even implicit bias. And so we've had professional learning on that, but we need to continue. So when we talk about the inclusive environment, it does include that.
Ms. Antone, I think you should spell out PL because I didn't know what that was.
Thank you.
I know you all did, but I did not. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Do you think we should define ambassadors as well? Just put student representatives?
We can.
I think that's just a good idea. And then put ambassadors in parentheses.
The thing is, it's so small. It's like when you put, let's see, work with student representatives to, and then you said put in parentheses.
Yeah, ambassadors. That way it just sort of defines what we call those people.
Okay. All right, 3B, continue staff professional learning, we said that. 3C, utilize restorative practices, mentors, peer mentoring, So here's another acronym here we might have to spell out. But we said MTSS, behavior interventions to replace out-of-school suspensions when possible. Let's see. Sorry, okay. Multi-tiered system of supports for behavior interventions to replace out-of-school suspensions when possible. Are we good with that?
Mhm.
Okay.
It looks like
Um,
there's an extra space between suspensions and when. I think you just
Let's
have an
see.
extra space right
Right
there.
here. All right, thank you. 4A was, number 4 was utilize academic and behavioral universal screeners to address the whole child. And for 4A, we got utilize our care team and intervention block to ensure students with intensive needs are consistently addressed via academic and behavioral data. And that includes, data from the attendance data, MAP test data, and the BEST screener.
So, Ms. Antone, are kids being pulled from our Wednesday advisory groups for that? Because I haven't had any kids get pulled.
No, they, for which one? From the care team?
For like, yeah, for the care
They
team
should.
about the mental health screener or attendance issues.
They've been pulling kids. I know they've been pulling kids for a while now. Mr. Webb, you were a part of that. So they don't necessarily, it's something that has to take place all day because it's a large number.
Okay,
So-
it just looks like it'd be intervention block, so it's happening in the morning during.
Got it. I see what you're saying. So the care team is there and the intervention block is there because we're addressing the academic and behavioral universal.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
We need to reword that to make sure.
I mean, I know we gave the screener then.
Yeah, and so the counselors, I know Mr. Webb assisted them with his counseling background as well, to pull students and have, conferences with them and, trying to work through that data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you gotten a lot of parental feedback on what we mailed out? I'm just wondering, because as a parent, I was shocked when I got my daughter's report. I mean, not that there was anything in it, but it just seemed really strange that if kids know that their parents are reading what they wrote, which they thought was in confidence, I just don't know that they're ever going to fill that out honestly again. That's my belief.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good observation. Definitely, good information to take back because they will do it again.
I will say we didn't get feedback as far as parents calling or addressing us, but
Okay.
when we reached out to parents, we talked to them about ways in which to, I guess, relay the information or not relay the information, use it as a tool, not necessarily to sit down and say, hey, this is what you answered.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Also, we have 4B, implement personalized learning cohort, and we got to fix that so we can see it. So we'll do that.
Lighting back there.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So if you have been listening to, the different initiatives in our district, when we look at the APS 5, one of the ways that we're improving student achievement this year is through what we call personalized learning, where we are really trying to work with the students and individualize what we're doing to make sure that they're successful. And so this year, right now, school-wide in every school, part of that is the intervention block where we're using different digital platforms to personalize learning, where kids are getting what they need, in terms of how they fared on the map or the reading and math inventories in their classroom, and it places them according to what they need. And so they're getting that personalized instruction in the intervention block, but also there is another cohort that the district is rolling out with about, I think the first wave is about maybe 24 schools. And so whether it's school-wide or you have a small group of teachers who are interested in learning more about personalized learning and really doing a deep dive into that, in their classrooms outside of that intervention block, They're going to be going through trainings in terms of how to personalize learning in their regular core classrooms and just really catering to the individual student. So, and we did have, we have about 11 teachers who were really, really interested in exploring personalized learning, and to see, you know, how we can assist our students in that manner.
Is that different than differentiation?
Yes, it's supposed to be different from differentiation in that they'll be looking at, you know, even down to the digital tools that they use. The students in personalized learning, from my understanding, they have the opportunity to even sometimes choose the way that they want to learn. You know, it's not so much as, historically, teachers, they plan, and we talk about how we're going to implement our lessons. It does open it up to give students more of a voice in how they learn. And I know, Ms. Poe, you actually went through some training about that as well. So
it's more intense than differentiated instruction, and it's more intentional. And student voice and choice are definitely high up there on the scale, so that a student is able to show you how they learn in their best possible way.
That's a great goal, and it's fine to keep in here, but differentiation doesn't even work. There's no way a teacher with 30 kids can implement a different learning methodology. Great. I wish you the best of luck, but that seems impossible to implement in a classroom with 30 kids. If we reduce class size to 10 kids, let's do it. But
yeah.
I mean, I understand it's an APS initiative and you've got to put it in there.
No, we don't have to. Do we want to take this one out?
That seems impossible, but I don't know. I guess training's always good, but training on stuff that really isn't feasible or realistic.
Well, Ms. Keenan, I totally hear and understand what you're saying, but I mean, across the nation, that is a goal for every school, to try to make it personalized for each kid. It is a struggle with 30 kids, especially you're talking connections or even PE. You're talking 35 or 40 kids, and trying to
more
make
than
sure
30.
every kid has that individual experience and able to learn at their own pace and their own style. That is a ultimate goal of any educator, regardless of how tough or difficult that is to implement.
Yeah.
Let's
It
see.
looks like there's an extra space. I don't know if you want someone to just edit it. Like I'd be happy to edit this document when we're done, get rid of extra spaces and periods and stuff.
Let's see. Where do you see that?
In between implement and personalized, there's an
Okay.
extra space.
Yeah, there you go.
But as I said, Miss Antoni, I'd be happy to, take care of those when we're done.
All right, thank you.
With the I guess the goal or the energy of 3C, I just want to raise this up from a comment that was made in at the parent coffee, where one parent said a lot of the behavioral interventions or work is geared towards the perpetrator with seemingly none for a victim.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where that goes in here, but I think that that's relevant.
Okay.
So if it's, I don't know if it's in 3C or if it's supposed to be kind of implicit in that, but just something so they have resources as well.
Okay. Practice mentors.
So if I can chime in right in this section. So that happens with the restorative practices. It also happens in a restorative practice when you have them and the perpetrator, or however you want to label them.
Yeah, I couldn't.
the offender, I guess.
Yeah, better.
But we oftentimes bring those students together when we can, in a situation that we can, and they actually learn how to resolve the conflict And they also talk about our alternative ways in which the situation could have been handled. So many times the victim is addressed, and most times the victim is addressed, as well as the parent is included, and we sort of keep them in the loop of what's going on with their child. So, I mean, I don't know about that particular situation, but I know
Okay.
there's a ton of communication when we have those types of incidents.
Okay.
So do we want to add something explicitly stated here to make sure that we are addressing the victim?
Well, if that's kind of a part of it, that it might seem a little redundant or not necessary here. I would say then just that it should be communicated, just so that people do understand that when there is a disciplinary issue, that restorative practices are in place, and what that means, so that the execution can be there and everyone can be held accountable for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. All right. 4B. Okay. And the number 5 was build teacher capacity and leadership opportunities across the professional learning community to meet diverse social and academic needs of students. Okay. So 5A was strengthen teachers' skills through regular coaching and feedback. 5B was provide, take that out of there, provide teacher leadership opportunities in departments, professional learning communities, guiding coalitions, collaborative teams, facilitation, grade level meetings, MTSS implementation, expanded leadership decisions, master teacher opportunities, lead academic and non-academic initiatives. Okay. Number 6, recommend for hire high quality staff for vacant positions. Number 6, recruit candidates through a rigorous process in which teacher leaders review, interview, and recommend to administration for further hire processing.
I like number 6 in the pink box. I like that, but the number 6 on the other side, we talked about this a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
that doesn't say anything. Hopefully every school is aspiring to hire high quality staff. I don't know if there's something more or better we want to put there. Can you show us the orange box?
Yeah, what we could say, we could mention something about, trying to recruit staff who are gifted certified as well, maybe adding something in there like that.
Mhm.
But I will tell you, in these times, it is very hard to find high quality staff. So that is definitely work.
Yeah.
Can you show us the orange box? I guess what are we trying to add? Or no, I'm sorry, on the left-hand side.
Over
Yeah.
here?
Okay, I was just trying. So we're trying to put the bullet points that go to.
Okay.
So this is talking about strategic staff support, equitable resource allocation.
Mhm.
And really all we're talking about here is like learning and professional learning and leadership opportunities. Is there something else we can put that would support our staff? Is there another goal or bullet point here that would be more in line with staff support? I mean, truthfully, maybe I'd like to see, I don't know, some sort of like appreciation and recognition. I don't know if that goes here, but
So
working with the PTO to, recognize and celebrate our awesome teachers. To me, that seems more like along the support lines than hiring good people.
Yeah, so it is down here on number 7, create an environment that motivates and retains staff members.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, they both say strategic staff. They both have the same.
yeah, right. So it was kind of confusing. But
That doesn't make sense. Okay, so this is, okay, you're right. Okay, so the bigger topic is empowering leaders and staff.
mhm.
Is there something else that we
Yeah,
can do to empower?
and part of that with the teacher recruitment process, like we literally have teacher leaders to do the first line of interviews before it actually gets to administration. And so here you still have, opportunities for teachers to take on leadership roles.
I would maybe just change 6 then to involve teachers and staff in the hiring of high quality, or something like involve teachers, or however you want to say it, involve teachers in the hiring of high quality. Something that's just a little better.
Hiring, and what do we say?
Hiring of high quality staff.
Let's see.
There we go.
That's better.
Yep.
All right. And number 7, create an environment that motivates and retains staff members. Ongoing, and then you have 7A, ongoing professional learning for new teachers to strengthen skills. 7B, recognize teachers and staff for success. And then 8, provide the necessary supports and resources to enhance teaching and learning. Let's see. And then you have increased the number of teachers with gifted certification. Let's see.
What about, I think I remember in Sutton, they had something about a goal of reducing class sizes. Or yeah, that was, the last iteration. I mean, it seems to me, if we make that well, I guess you don't have that much control over it, because I know the budget and, the number of teachers you get is assigned by APS. But to me, is there something that we could put that, I don't know, would just help lessen the load of teachers a little bit? If we had paraprofessionals cover lunch, or just something to reduce the burden. Because it'd be nice to have more teachers with gifted certification, but I'm just wondering if there's something we can do as a school.
Yes.
That would just.
Yes, we can add that. One of the things that we're actually doing, we actually have posted now, or for some paraprofessionals, and we're actually going to be using them to help with lunch. So,
I'd say something like that, like, strategic use of paraprofessionals, to give teachers, maybe, I don't know, maybe Ms. Baker, you can help me formulate this, but something like reducing your administrative roles so that you have more time to focus on teaching. That's kind of what I was trying to get at. To me, that's something that's supporting our teachers if we do something like that.
That would actually take quite a load off, because for years we had duty-free lunch, and with the pandemic, administration's been awesome, and they're trying to rotate it out, but it is.
Yeah.
There's days where, like yesterday, I did lunch duty, and then I had 2 conferences back to back. So I literally came to school at 8 and then went home and did work till 7. Like it was.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, hang in there, because help
Woo.
us. All right.
With the number of teachers with gifted certification, do you know, like, what's the percentage that have that now, or are we just trying to go from, like, I don't know, 50% to 55%, or X? I'm just trying to wonder, like, what does that mean? How many teachers is that?
Yeah. Good question. We can find out and definitely update.
Okay.
It'd be nice, if we're trying to increase the number of advanced course offerings and gifted classes for students, I mean, you almost need as many, like everybody, if possible, you know, but what we can do is look at the number we have right now and then attach a percent to there, you know, as a goal.
Okay.
Let's see, hire professional assistants will reducing the load for teachers to increase time spent. Well, I think we said to lessen the load, didn't we?
Yeah.
To see, reduce the load.
I would say something like reduce the non-teaching duties of teachers or something like that. To
To reduce, with reducing the non.
teaching
Let's
responsibility.
make it
Oh, yeah.
instructional, non-instructional roles, maybe.
Yes, I like that. Non-instructional duties. Yeah.
That does sound dreamy.
Yay, let's do it.
Reduce the non-instructional duties.
Snap our fingers. Let's go.
All right, it's there. Okay. All right. So I think we have some really good goals. Yep, I think we have some really good goals. We've been over the priorities and the strategies. And then, you know, remember we talked about, we can definitely go back and tag on numbers, you know, once we get some baseline data with some of those things. And then even with the number of teachers who have gifted certification in the building right now, we can look at that and tag on that information so we'll know what we're working towards. Any other questions or anything, any other items we need to look at, add, modify? Are we good?
I think so. Okay, this is a very nitpicky. Can we make the font all the same size in the boxes up at the top? Because it goes big and
Okay.
tiny and it makes my eyeballs bug out.
Let's see, where?
I can fix, yeah, I can fix all of the formatting stuff. When we have the final language, Miss Antone, you can send me the Google link, and yeah, I'd be happy to take care of all that.
Okay. All right, and you also have access to it now as well. That link I put.
Oh, that link. Okay, sure.
Okay.
I can't tell if it's view only or not. I was looking at it. I've got it up, but it says view only on my screen.
Okay, so I would need to make sure you need access to edit. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
All right. Is that everything?
This is everything from me. Let's see, I'm going to just add.
So I'm just in my notes. They're very, very vague because I'm just saying we worked on this page slide. We worked on this page. So I think that's everything.
And I have a question. You know, our old strategic plan, it had some specific things like PSAT testing for 8th graders.
Okay.
I mean, do we need that in this document? Or like this document seems to be a little more big picture than some of the things that were in the old strategic plan.
Okay, we can definitely add that. Let's see.
Well, I guess that's what I'm asking. Like, do we need to?
I think this is supposed to be big picture.
Yeah,
That's what I was wondering.
yeah.
Is there some other place? Like, is there going to be a companion document or something where?
The school improvement plan, we can definitely have that in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Any other adjustments or comments for the plan?
It looks good to me. Thank you so much for all your hard work, Miss Antone.
It does look.
Thank you all for your feedback.
Yeah, thank you for your hard work, Ms. Hampton. You and the administrator. All right, thank you all for joining us in the work session, and we will see y'all at the next Go Team on Thursday.
You all have a good night.
All right, thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.